There is a quiet force in the universe, ancient, invisible, and immeasurable, silently shaping your reality, not through brute strength, but through the beliefs you choose to carry each day. Imagine waking up one morning, no longer a victim of your circumstances, no longer afraid of what might go wrong today, but rising with a quiet conviction. Everything is conspiring to bring good into my life. Does it sound crazy? Maybe, but Jung once said, "What you resist, persists." So what if, instead of resisting life, you choose to walk with it? As a co-creator? The story of a woman who believed she was unlucky. I once met a woman who was convinced she was unlucky. Every time she missed the bus, she mumbled, "I'm always so unlucky." Every breakup became another brick in the wall she was building around herself, keeping her stuck in victimhood. One day, I asked her, "What if life isn't punishing you, but teaching you?" At first, she looked at me with skepticism, but a seed was planted. Slowly, she began to see failures as invitations to change, each delay as a divine recalibration, and each loss as a ritual of self-rebirth. 2 years later, she found herself in a place she once never dared to dream of. A job that fit her, and a partner who loved her not for her wounds, but for her wholeness. She didn't change the world, but she changed the way she saw the world. And that changed everything. You don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. This is an ancient truth, but few truly live it. If you believe life is against you, you will find evidence of betrayal everywhere, living in a constant state of fear and defensiveness, becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you believe the universe is your ally, you will start to notice gentle signs, hidden opportunities within chaos, and small lights in the darkness. The way you perceive reality is the mold that shapes your reality. Modern psychology proves it too. At Stanford University, a study divided participants into 2 groups to solve the same set of puzzles. One group was told, "This is an intelligence test." The other group was encouraged, "Just play, explore." The results were clear. Those under evaluation pressure worked slower, were less creative, and felt stressed. The group that approached it playfully, without fear of judgment, performed faster and more creatively. The test was the same. The world changed because they change. When you walk into a storm, if you walk into a storm believing, "I will break," you will crumble at the first gust of wind. But if you enter that same storm with the belief that it is forging you, you will walk out stronger, deeper, and more resilient. This is not wishful thinking. It is a powerful psychological posture. It activates your inner compass, helping you find order within chaos, turning obstacles into choices, and transforming difficulties into opportunities. Carl Jung, the hero archetype, and act as if. According to Carl Jung, within the collective unconscious of every human being lies the hero archetype. The hero does not appear when everything is perfect. The hero emerges when you dare to walk into darkness, believing it is leading you to a deeper maturity. To act as if everything always works out for you is to summon the hero within you. You cease to be a victim of life, and you become the author of your story. Don't wait for confidence before you act. Many people wait until they feel confident before they begin. But in truth, confidence is not a prerequisite, it is the result of action. The longer you wait, the further you drift from your true path. Act first, and faith will follow. You cannot control everything, but you can co-create. Just like a farmer who sows seeds and trusts in the harvest. You cannot control everything, but you can wholeheartedly plant seeds of action. Patiently wait for time, and trust the process. Letting go of control is not giving up. It is a sacred trust. Allowing life to lead and bring you what you need. Live as if the wind is always at your back. You can walk through life believing everything is against you. or you can walk as if the wind is lifting you forward. Not because the wind is always there, but because that belief alone is strong enough to change the trajectory of your life. When you walk with quiet certainty, the world feels it and begins to adjust. Aligning with your belief, opportunities open, the right people arrive, and life begins to guide you on the path aligned with your growth. You are the signal, not someone waiting for one. Do not wait for a sign from the universe to begin. You are that sign. Walk with faith, with wholeness, with the posture of a co-creator, and the universe will respond to that belief. Your posture is a prophecy. Your belief is a force that changes reality. Your presence is a magnet that attracts what you truly deserve. The sacred stage within every human being. Inside each of us is a sacred stage where countless inner characters live, breathe, and perform every day. They are not illusions but ancient, instinctive, and profound forces within us. There is the wounded child who longs for safety, the skeptic who doubts every promise, the healer who yearns to mend what is broken, the fool who dares to laugh without logic, and most importantly, the hero who dares to act. These archetypes do not merely exist as roles in our minds. They are streams of energy that, when summoned, shape our choices, reactions, and destinies. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you are not pretending. You are summoning the hero archetype within you. The hero is not defined by ease or the absence of fear. The hero does not appear when life is comfortable, but when life is full of challenges and trials. When the path disappears into the mist, the hero is the one who dares to take the first step. Even when the future is uncertain, they are not naive. They know pain, they know loss, but they also know that beyond suffering, something worthy is waiting. Walking through darkness with faith. Every myth tells this story. The hero does not begin with strength but begins in ordinary, even desperate circumstances. Then comes the call, a loss, a failure, an event that shatters the old world. And the hero must choose to continue living as a victim, or to rise, stepping into the darkness with faith that this battle will not be in vain. You will not find the path if you only wait for the light to appear. You will find the path the moment you begin to walk. Stand up and step forward. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You simply need to stand up and walk forward with the belief. I am not merely surviving in my life story. I am creating it. And then you will realize, when you act as if everything always works out for you, life begins to move in harmony with you, guiding you to doors that have been waiting, allowing you to become the hero of your own life. You know, your soul is a quiet and loyal companion. It observes you each day, in every step you take, in the sound of your voice, in the way you look at yourself in the mirror each morning. And then, your soul begins to adjust itself to match the posture you choose to live by. You can argue endlessly in your mind, but your subconscious does not respond to logic. It responds to action and your real presence. You are not pretending. You are awakening your true face. Acting as if everything always works out for you is not a performance to deceive yourself or others. It is not a mask to hide your insecurity, nor is it for show. It is a sacred ritual to become your truest self. When you dare to act before your emotions are ready, to speak your truth before confidence appears, to walk into the room before you feel worthy, you are not pretending. You are summoning the oldest and truest part of yourself to rise. Science confirms what the soul always knows. Many studies at Harvard have shown people who stood in a power pose, head held high, shoulders back, standing firmly for just 2 minutes, experienced changes in their hormones. Testosterone, linked to confidence, increased. Cortisol, linked to stress and anxiety, decreased. The most remarkable change was not just in hormone levels, but in behavior. They became more willing to take risks, to step out of their comfort zones. The body sent a signal to the brain. We are safe. We are strong. This is not magic. This is biology catching up to belief. Your body broadcasts signals through the way you stand, the way you walk, the sound of your voice when you say your own name, and your subconscious listens. Live as someone who believes life has good things waiting. When you live with dignity and trust in life, your soul begins to believe that story is true. Wake up and dress like someone who respects their own worth. Not for show, but out of respect for yourself. Speak with a voice that carries the rhythm of self-respect. Even if your hands are still trembling. Walk with quiet certainty, even when you cannot yet see the path clearly ahead. These are not shallow habits. They are sacred rituals that awaken the deepest parts of you. Whispering, "It is time. We are no longer waiting. Act first. Confidence will follow." Many people wait for fear to disappear before they dare to act. But they don't realize that fear only leaves when you start taking action. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. It is the result of action. It is born the moment you take a step, even if your legs are trembling. The moment you speak, even if you don't know exactly what to say. Action is the cradle where faith is formed. In mythology and in life, transformation begins with a small step, not because the hero was ready, but because they dared to move. When you step forward, the past no longer holds you. When you act in alignment with the future you desire, you gradually dissolve the past that has held you back. You break through stagnation, shifting from idea to incarnation. And then something miraculous happens. The world begins to respond to you. People feel your presence, and the circumstances around you start to adjust subtly to match the new frequency you are emitting. This is not manipulation, it is resonance. When you walk in the direction of becoming your most complete self, the path that once seemed invisible begins to appear beneath your feet. The mind will always find reasons to delay, but your soul longs to move. Your mind will always offer reasons to delay. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. It's not the right time. But your soul does not care about waiting. It craves movement, presence, and the alignment of your inner and outer worlds. Let go instead of clinging. Most people live in a state of tightness, clinging to results, expectations, and timelines, driven more by fear than by trust. The control we often mistake for strength is actually fear wearing a mask. The paradox is this: the more you try to control life, the more resistance you encounter. The more you force, the more tired you become. And anxiety arises not because life is against you, but because you believe everything depends solely on you. Acting as if everything is working out is not passivity, but full participation. It is not withdrawal from life, nor is it giving up. It means participating with your whole being, showing up fully, giving generously, creating, speaking, daring to take risks, and finally, letting go of the outcome. Not because the outcome doesn't matter, but because you understand that the outcome is not entirely yours to control. You are a co-creator in the intelligent unfolding of the universe. You are not the only hand on the loom. Letting go is not indifference. It is sacred trust. Letting go is allowing your mind to rest, your heart to open, and your soul to breathe. You say to life, I will give my best, but I will not tie my worth or my peace to the outcome. Conclusion. The world responds to the belief you choose. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you invite life to respond to that belief. You shift from waiting to ready to receive. You are no longer passive but become a co-creator with life. And then, you will see, everything continues as it is meant to. But you begin to walk with it, not against it. Do not tie your peace or your self-worth to what happens next. Let there be a quiet whisper within you. I believe there are invisible forces at work, even if I cannot see them. Think of the farmer. He does not command the seed to sprout on his schedule. He does not dig up the soil each day in anxious curiosity to check its growth. He does not shout at the sky for rain. He simply does what he can: tills the soil, plants the seed, waters with care, and tends with devotion, and then he waits patiently. He trusts in the invisible process. Even though he cannot see the roots spreading beneath the soil, he knows they are growing. His trust is not based on guarantees but on a deep understanding of how life moves. You are not a manipulator of fate. You are dancing with the rhythm of the universe. The farmer has seen seasons change, storms pass, and harvests arrive, and he works, and then he lets go. This is how we, too, are invited to live, not as those who strain to control everything, but as those who participate fully and trust in the grand rhythm of life. Peace does not come from certainty, but from trust. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you no longer grip the steering wheel with white-knuckled fear. You stop anxiously searching for signs or directions. You begin to realize that peace is not found in certainty, but in trust. And trust is not some vague concept, it is a daily practice of living. Let go so life can move. Many people believe that if they worry enough, they can prevent disaster. They think that if they anticipate every variable and prepare for every scenario, they can bend the world to their will. But this is an illusion. The mind, in its effort to control the future, forgets that life is not a machine to be controlled, but a mystery to be entered. The root of anxiety is the illusion that you must carry everything, control everything, fix everything, but the truth will set you free. You were never meant to do it all alone. You are part of a vast, intelligent, connected universe. Your role is not to manage every detail but to offer your sincerity and trust the unfolding of life. In letting go, you create space for new possibilities to emerge. You stop forcing and begin allowing. You stop merely existing and start flowing with the current of life. And often, the outcomes you once clung to are much smaller than what life truly wants to give you. Live like the farmer. Live like the farmer. Work with devotion. Pour your energy into what you can control. And then, step back. Let the soil do what soil knows how to do. Let the rain come when it comes. Let time do what time is meant to do. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Peace is born not from winning every battle, but knowing which battles to fight and which to let go. True peace does not arrive when you conquer every challenge or prove yourself in every conflict. It is born when you develop the wisdom to discern which battles are yours to fight, and which are simply invitations to let go. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you step into alignment with this deeper wisdom. You stop approaching life as a battlefield where you must be on guard, defending yourself against every possibility of loss or failure. You begin to see that life is not testing you, but guiding you. There is a quiet strength that comes when you realize that not every obstacle requires your resistance. Not every opinion needs your defense. Not every conflict needs your energy. Some storms are not meant to be fought against, they are meant to be witnessed, allowed to pass, while you stand rooted in trust. When you live this way, you begin to remember that you are not a lonely individual struggling against the current of life. You are a soul dancing in rhythm with the universe, moving with the tides, allowing the winds of change to carry you to where you are meant to grow. And in this dance, you discover a peace that is deeper than the temporary comfort of having everything under control. You find a strength that is softer, yet unshakable, because it is not built on fear, but on trust. You realize that there are moments to stand firm, to speak your truth, to take courageous action, and there are moments to release your grip, to trust the timing, to let life unfold without your constant interference. When you choose to act as if everything always works out for you, you are not pretending that life will always be easy. You are choosing to meet life with openness, to participate fully without demanding that the outcome looks exactly as you imagined. You stop exhausting yourself trying to control what is beyond your reach. And you begin to offer your energy to what is truly yours to shape. You let go of the illusion that you must fight your way through life to be worthy of peace. And you begin to see that peace has always been available to you, waiting for you to choose it. And so, when you walk through life with this quiet faith, you will notice, the storms still come, but you are not shaken. The setbacks still happen, but they do not define you. The path still has twists and turns, but you do not lose yourself in fear. You move with life, rather than against it, and you discover that true peace is not passive, it is an active, courageous choice to trust, to release, and to align with the unfolding of your highest path. Strength comes not from forcing, but from trust. True strength is not born from the relentless pushing, forcing, or striving that drains your spirit. It is born from trust, the kind of trust that feels like a quiet exhale in your chest, reminding you that you are held by something larger than your fear. There is an invisible thread that weaves through the fabric of reality, responding not just to your words or actions, but to what you deeply, unshakably believe in your bones. This belief is not something you recite to yourself in front of a mirror each morning, hoping it will sink in. It is not a rigid affirmation spoken with clenched teeth, trying to override your fear. It is deeper than that. It is older than the stories you tell yourself about what is possible for you. It is more instinctual, rooted in the quiet, sacred knowing that life is not here to punish you, but to guide you into the fullness of who you are meant to become. When you trust deeply, you stop living in a constant state of tension, bracing for what could go wrong. You stop trying to bend every circumstance to your will, exhausting yourself in the name of control. You begin to understand that control is often fear wearing a mask, and forcing outcomes is a sign of mistrust, not strength. Real strength is the choice to trust the process even when the path is unclear. It is waking up each day and deciding to participate fully in your life, even when you do not have all the answers. It is allowing yourself to be guided by the deeper current of life, stepping forward with faith, even if your hands are trembling and your voice shakes when you speak your truth. It is understanding that every moment of uncertainty is not a threat, but an invitation to deepen your trust, to align your actions with your highest intentions, and to allow life to meet you where you are. Strength is found in the moments you decide to release your grip on what you cannot control. It is found in the soft, courageous surrender to what is, paired with the unwavering commitment to continue showing up for what you love. It is in the gentle exhale that says, "I will give my all, but I will not sacrifice my peace in the process." This trust is not passive. It is an active faith that the seeds you have planted will grow in their own time. It is believing that the invisible work happening beneath the surface of your life is just as important as the visible progress you can measure. It is choosing to walk into opportunities with the energy of, "I belong here," not because you forced your way in, but because you trusted your worth enough to step forward. When you live with this trust, you will notice, the world responds to the frequency you emit. People feel your grounded presence and are drawn to it. Opportunities unfold without the frantic energy of chasing. Because you have learned the art of allowing, you move from proving yourself to being yourself. You move from fear-based striving to trust-based living. You move from the illusion of control to the power of co-creation with life itself. The frequency you emit matters more than the words you speak. It is the quiet expectation that echoes beneath your every action. It is the frequency you emit even before you say a word. When you hold your belief not only in your mind but deep within your bones, you allow the world to respond to you. You do not force the world to follow your will. You begin to resonate with a different truth. You walk, not as someone seeking acceptance, but as someone who knows they are worthy. You enter a room, not waiting to be chosen, but with the quiet certainty that life has already chosen you. How you knock matters more than whether you knock. People often say, "The door will open for those who knock," but they rarely tell you this. How you knock matters more than whether you knock at all. A trembling hand, weighed down by insecurity, may go unnoticed, but a knock that carries certainty, confidence, and the energy of, "I am ready," will resonate with a different frequency. And the world, sensitive and perceptive, will hear and respond. The story of a young man. I once mentored a young man who was intelligent and capable but always felt unworthy of success. Every job interview he attended, he carried a quiet fear and a sense of unworthiness that was present in every word he spoke, in every glance he gave. The interviewers could not name this feeling, but they sensed it, and time after time, he was rejected. He thought it was fate, that he was cursed, but in truth, he had been closing the door before it could open. I once told him, "Don't walk into an interview needing them to choose you. Walk in as if they already have. Go there to connect, to discover what this experience wants to teach you." At first, he looked at me as if I was speaking nonsense. But perhaps he was tired enough of the old way. So he decided to try. The following week, he went to an interview. He didn't change his resume or his story. He only changed his posture. He smiled more. He listened more. Most importantly, he believed, for a moment, that he deserved to be there. And he was hired on the spot. It was not magic. It was belief. It was the removal of inner resistance. He stopped blocking the flow of life with doubt. He stopped telling the story of rejection and allowed something new to enter. He did not manipulate the world, he opened himself to it. And the world opened in return. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you send a message to life. Not through words, but through your presence. I am ready to receive good things. I am open to unexpected support. I trust the unfolding of life. Because you are no longer fighting against yourself. Your outer actions align with your inner frequency. And life no longer has to struggle to reach you. Walls fall. Gates open. Others feel this too. They are drawn to those who believe in their own worth. Not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. Your presence reminds them of a part of themselves they long to live. When you believe in your worth, you become a mirror, allowing others to recognize their own. Faith does not spread through preaching, it spreads through the energy of your presence. Life does not need you to be perfect, it needs you to participate fully. Life does not respond to flawless performances. It responds to belief fully lived. That belief is an invitation for good things to arrive, for help to appear, for love to take root. When you allow yourself to trust, life begins to reorganize itself around you. Not because life has changed, but because you have changed. You stop waiting for a sign and become the sign. You stop rehearsing your worth and begin to live it. Act as if everything always works out for you, starting now. Not to deceive yourself or life, but to awaken your potential, to summon the hero archetype within you, and to write the fullest, most alive story of your life. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you do not just change your story, you change the energetic field in which that story exists. And step by step, you will see life begin to respond. The wind will lift your steps. Doors will open, and you will realize, life was never against you, it has been walking with you all along. This life is like a canvas, where its shapes, colors, and lines are painted by the vision and beliefs you carry each day. What would happen if, starting today, you chose to see the world not through the eyes of fear, but through the lens of infinite possibilities? What if every mistake was not a failure, but a correction in the right direction? What if every delay was not an obstacle, but a divine arrangement for recalibration? What if every fall was not meant to break you, but was a secret invitation to rise higher than ever before?